Hi, and welcome to the Art of Film Funding. I'm your co-host, Claire Papan, along with writer-producer Carol Dean, author of the best-selling book, The Art of Film Funding, and host of this show. Carol is the president of From the Heart Productions, a nonprofit organization that has supported filmmakers with the Roy W. Dean Grant, fiscal sponsorship, education, and resources for over 30 years. Carol also teaches the Learn Producing class. Each class features an industry expert guest instructor and is designed to give the information, guidance, and support to become a successful producer. You can learn more about this class and all of From the Heart Productions offerings at FromTheHeartProductions.com.
Join us to learn just how powerful you really are. In fact, we believe that you are the magic.
A talented filmmaker, photographer, and producer, Carol Joyce is a vice president of the 501c3 nonprofit From the Heart Productions and director of the Roy W. Dean Grant. Carol is also the CEO of Authentic Vision Consulting, a consulting firm specializing in independent film production and financing. A graduate of Brooks Institute of Photography, Carol is an award-winning filmmaker for her documentary, Survivors. Carol served as executive producer for the award-winning short film Stairway to the Stars, starring Sean Young, and additional credits are available on IMDb. From the Heart Productions credits are also available on IMDb. Good morning, Carol Joyce. I'm turning it over to you.
Hello, and welcome to the Art of Film Funding. I'm Carol Joyce, Vice President of From the Heart Productions, and I'm proud to work alongside my mother, Carol Dean, at From the Heart Productions. Today's episode is unlike any other we've done. We're going beyond budgets, pitches, and distribution, and straight into the unseen world that powers all creativity. We're introducing you to the quantum field and how filmmakers can use it to manifest funding, align with their visions, and create more ease, joy, and success. I'm thrilled to interview Carol Dean about her upcoming brand new book, You Are the Magic. This book is about helping filmmakers awaken their creative power, tune into their infinite intelligence, and realize the universe is ready to support their dreams. And we want your feedback. This episode is a preview of chapters 3 and 4, and we sincerely appreciate hearing from you about what resonates, what inspires, and what stories you might have from your own connection to the field. You can reach us through our website, info@fromtheheartproductions.com. Your voice matters, and your insight will help you shape the rest of this book. Carol Dean, you state that your connection to the field always allows you to tap into an infinite intelligence. Can you elaborate on this?
Yes, thank you, Carol Joyce. The quantum field is the space that is around all of us, and it permeates our entire universe. It's the recorder of all information, past, present, and future. So let me read some of chapter 3 to address the benefits of this connection, because we are all in the field. This is your connection to infinite intelligence. You're not separate from the quantum field. You are the field. This is the most important truth that you can embrace, that you're not just tapping into something outside yourself. You're remembering something from within. The field of infinite intelligence is not somewhere out there in the cosmos. It's flowing through your cells. It's humming in your heartbeat. It's dancing in the quiet between your thoughts. You are an extension of this field, an individualized expression of universal energy. You are a drop of the ocean. Imagine the ocean. It's vast, deep, eternal. Now imagine a single drop of that ocean, still water, still whole, and still complete. But that drop is you. You contain the same property as the whole, the same intelligence, the same creative power. And as the great Indian sage said, Yogananda said, you are a wave on the bosom of the infinite sea. Your consciousness in form, your divine intelligence remembering itself. And the more you align with that truth, the more your life begins to unfold with ease, clarity, and meaning.
What does science say about this?
Well, that's a good question because you are energy, see? So let's go back to science. Albert Einstein famously said, concerning matter, we've all been wrong. What we have called matter is energy, whose vibration has been so lowered as to be perceptible by the senses. That means that your body, your brain, your breath, they're all made of energy, vibrating at different speeds. Your thoughts, they are energy. Your emotions, energy. And that energy is constantly communicating with the field. In fact, the electromagnetic field produced by your heart is 5,000 times stronger than the one produced by your brain. It extends several feet beyond your body. This is measurable. So when you think a thought and feel it in your heart, you are literally sending a signal into the quantum field. And Albert Einstein said the field is the sole governing agency of the particle. So in other words, the invisible field determines what becomes visible. So when you learn how to manage your energy, your thoughts, your focus, your emotions, you begin to influence the outcome in your life. So you can influence outcome in your life.
You can influence outcomes in your life. How does that happen?
Well, the field speaks to you. The field is not only a receiver, it's a responder, and it echoes your dominant vibration. So if you live in gratitude, you have more things to be grateful for, and they start to appear. If you live in fear, life seems to mirror back struggle. It's not punishment, it's resonance. So your thoughts and feelings are instructions to the field. They are creative blueprints. And Lynn McTaggart, the author of The Field, wrote, we are not observing the universe, we're creating it. This is why inner work is not a luxury. It's the foundation for transformation. So every time you elevate your energy, even a little, you begin to broadcast a new signal. And the field begins to reorganize your reality around that new frequency. You begin to attract what matches your new vibration, a better job, greater health, more aligned relationships, increased income, a deeper sense of peace, and a better future. Because everything in the universe vibrates, and every person, every thought, every experience carries a frequency. And frequencies attract like frequencies. Raise your vibration, and the field brings in new energy, new people, new ideas, new possibilities. Not because you forced them, but because you matched them. Matching my new vibration in the video world is, here's a story. When I was buying and selling film stocks, videotape came on the market. It was cheaper and easier to work with than film. And I knew that video was the future and I had to expand my business and include it. So I bought a machine in the 70s for more than you paid for a Mercedes 350. This was a major investment for me. So now all I had to do was to learn about tape, right? It seems so simple. But sometimes not knowing what you don't know is a blessing because I had no idea what I was getting into. I was a member of the Society of Motion Picture Engineers, and I attended the monthly meetings, and that's how I learned about film. So I began researching video conferences, and I found one in Montreux, Switzerland, and that jumped off the page to me. It felt like it would be a great trip, so I packed up some corporate clothes, headed for Switzerland, and knew I could learn about tape. Fast forward to Montreux, where I had a booth, and I used that to buy used tape and meet people around Europe and learn all about videotape and buying from these people. Now, there was a conference at 10 a.m., so I was all dressed. I walked into a room, and there were 150 engineers. Most of them were wearing black horn-rimmed glasses with slide rules in their plastic-covered pockets. There was not a woman in the room, so I just stood inside the door and realized that I was way out of my depth. I was in a totally different world. And I decided, okay, you got me into this, universe, help me, because I'm at the panic stage. And after about a minute, I realized I had to get seated because they were starting. So I asked for help to find the right seat. I don't think I've ever done this before, but now is the time to find an ally. So I walked down the rows and began saying, this one? And the answer was no. Here? Yes, I got an answer. So I went down the row, walked over people, and kept saying, sit here, sit here. And finally, I got a yes. So I sat next to a nice looking gentleman, and I sat down, smiled, and took up my pen and paper to take notes. Well, normally I take notes of what I don't understand, but when the presenter started talking, I realized I didn't understand a word he said. So I decided to write down some of these words and learn our acronyms and try to find out what they meant in this world of video. And one of the things the speaker said often was CCD. So I whispered to the man next to me, what is a CCD? And he said, oh, that's a charge coupled device. So I wrote it down. And then, of course, I had to ask him, what is a charge coupled device? And his face lit up with a giant smile. He was so happy. He said, take lots of notes and I will explain over lunch. Well, that was one of the luckiest meetings in my life. I sat down next to the man who had just revolutionized the industry by creating the Chiron machine, Eugene Leonard. Well, we became fast friends and we created machines together and sold them to video engineers. And we totally overhauled that machine I bought so that it did an incredible job of cleaning and analyzing videotape. So that's what happens when you immerse yourself in a new vibration like I did. By moving from film to tape, I attracted the perfect teacher, friend, and multi-talented visionary.
Please tell us more about the energy of attracting what you want.
Okay, so what you want is a life that matches your energy. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to get it all right. But every time you move from resentment to forgiveness, from stress to breath, from fear to faith, you shift your frequency. And the quantum field responds with new opportunities, new people, and resources that match your elevated state. And this is how transformation becomes natural because you're not trying to change reality. You're becoming someone who naturally lives in a better reality. And this is the secret. You are the infinite intelligence that you're seeking. Sometimes we look for signs and we wait for answers to drop from the sky, but the truth is, the wisdom of the field already exists within you. That quiet insight, that inspired idea, that moment of knowing, that's the field speaking through your own intuition. The field doesn't speak in language, it speaks in feeling. You will feel it as a sense of peace, an inner peace, a sudden clarity. And Rumi said, there is a voice that doesn't use words. Listen. And he's absolutely right. This is why our presence is powerful. When you quiet the noise, you start to hear your own soul. You feel the field whispering through your awareness. So you want to shift from separation to union. Much of our suffering comes from the illusion that we're separate from others, from life, from God, from the universe. But when you remember that you were part of a greater whole, that you were made of the same intelligence that created galaxies, something shifts. You begin to trust more. You stop forcing. You surrender, not in defeat, but in partnership. Carl Jung said the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. And that's what this book is all about. And who you truly are is infinite intelligence made visible.
Do you have instructions on how to connect to the field?
Yes, Carol, here's a perfect practice. You want to feel yourself as the field. This practice helps you move from concept to experience. So you can do this anytime you feel disconnected or uncertain. Become present, sit, and place your hand on your heart. Close your eyes. Breathe in slowly for 4 seconds and then breathe out for 6. And do that over and over and feel the rhythm of your breath. And say silently to yourself, I am not separate. I am energy. I am the field in form. Imagine your body dissolving into light and vibrating, shimmering, and expanding. And feel the field within your chest, your hands, your cells. Expand your awareness. Envision your energy expanding outward past your skin, even your room or your city, because you are the field experiencing it. Whisper, I am one with all that is. I am the wisdom I seek. And rest in this awareness for a few minutes and then gently open your eyes.
Please tell us more on how to use this expanding energy to improve our lives.
Well, here's a final thought. You are not a drop lost in the ocean. You are the ocean in a drop. You're not here to find your power. You're here to remember it. When you live as the field, you stop chasing and you start receiving. You stop asking, when will life love me? And you begin to say, I am life. I am love. I am the creator I've been waiting for. And the field, well, it's always known you. This is why inner work is not a luxury. It's the foundation for transformation.
Okay, manifestation is a hot topic in these on the internet these days. How do you bring your future into reality?
Okay, let's go to chapter 4, where thoughts become things. This is the science of meditation and manifestation, because everything you see around you began as a thought. The house you live in, the phone you carry, the film you want to produce, the life you desire. All of it started in the invisible realm of imagination, belief, and energy. And then it took form through action, alignment, and the help of unseen forces. This is the nature of creation. It begins in the field. It becomes real through you. You are always creating. This is very important to learn. Most people create unconsciously. They react to the world instead of shaping it. They focus on fear, and more fear appears, and then they're stuck. And so what you want to do is, when you create consciously, when you focus thought, energy, and emotion with purpose, that's when you become a true manifester. And this isn't just a spiritual idea, it's rooted in physics. Quantum mechanics, Niels Bohr told us that you are more than your physical self. There's an old saying that goes, as you think, so shall you be. And this is what we're capable of. We can create our future when we decide what we want and pretend we're living in this new future. This is the power of the quantum field. This is scientifically proven. We need to change our thinking and realize how powerful we are. This is a science of manifestation.
What are your sources of information?
Well, I'm going back to the ancients, before quantum physics caught up, long before quantum mechanics gave us the language of particles and fields. Great thinkers already knew that something unseen was behind all creation. Wallace D. Wattles called it the thinking stuff from which all things are made. Nikola Tesla referred to it as the ether, an invisible medium carrying all vibration. Napoleon Hill described it as infinite intelligence, a force that responds to clear thought and belief. So what are they all describing? The same energy we now call the quantum field, though it wouldn't be named that until the early 20th century through the work of physicists like Max Planck, Einstein, and Heisenberg. They discovered that beneath atoms were subatomic particles, and beneath those were vibrating fields of energy. And beneath that, pure potential. And the deeper they looked, the more they found that reality is not fixed. It's alive, it's responsive, it's intelligent. It's up to you to create the reality you want. Just like Wattles said in 1910, there is a thinking stuff from which all things are made. A thought in this substance produces the thing that is imagined by the thought. So that stuff is quantum field, and it's always listening.
So, how do you use this field to bring your future into form?
It's aligning with the field to create your reality. You do what all the great manifestors have done. You imagine it, you feel it, you live it before it shows up. And Napoleon Hill taught us in his book, Think and Grow Rich, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. And that's not a nice idea, that's a formula. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Conceive it in vivid, specific detail. As artists, you have excellent imagination. So this is easy for you. Just pretend. Pretend you have what you want. Start thinking and acting as if you have what you want and bring it into your life now with your vision. You could create a film in your mind of you living with your desires. Believe it with emotion, repetition, and trust. Emotions are powerful. Imagine that when you visualize something and act as if it's real, you're only using half of your manifesting abilities. When you put emotions in with your vision, you can bring that concept into reality 10 times faster. That's how powerful emotions are with visualization. So, which emotions, Carol? Well, try success, happiness, joy, confidence. Any of these will empower your vision with emotions that trigger things to happen. Emotions heighten manifestation, and you achieve it by pretending and living as if you already have it.
I remember a story that Jim Carrey did something similar to get his first big check in the film industry, right?
That's right. And history is full of people who manifested great lives by stepping into their future before the evidence showed up. And Jim Carrey famously wrote himself a check for $10 million in the early 1990s. And he dated it for Thanksgiving 1995. And he carried it in his wallet while driving up Mulholland Drive out here in California. That's a great place to sit on the hill and look at the LA spread out before you. He imagined producers offering him $10 million. And in 1994, he was offered exactly that for the film Dumb and Dumber. And Oprah Winfrey speaks often about how she visualized herself for being chosen for the color purple. Even though she had an audition, she saw herself as the character. She felt it in her soul and believed it was hers, and it was. And Nikola Tesla said, if you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. And he often carried inventions entirely in his mind, testing them mentally before building anything. He accessed the field as his laboratory. And they all knew to manifest, you must vibrate at the level of what you want. You must feel as if it's real.
Please tell us what current scientists say about bringing your dreams into reality.
Well, I interviewed one of my favorite writers and physicists, Fred Alan Wolf. He is known as Dr. Quantum. And I asked him about the power of daydreaming in creating your future. And Wolf said, daydreaming was like a handshake across time. When you're visualizing your future, that is seeding your future, and it will happen. And I found that to be true, Carol, because it's using the same tactics we're talking about it. That is visualization with strong feelings like emotion, excitement, faith, and belief that what you're visualizing is actually already yours. It's your new reality. And daydreaming was my favorite escape as a child. I could be anywhere in the world and still be sitting at my desk in English class. And often I was floating across the great Serengeti or riding elephants in India or visiting ancient temples in Egypt. And I didn't know how powerful that daydreaming was. Wolf was right. It was a handshake across time. I dreamt of owning and running my own business. I would often daydream during the hot summer evenings in Dallas, Texas, while I watched the planes fly overhead going to New York and Paris. I could see a plane and then I'd be immediately on the plane. I might be flying to New York to go shopping at Saks and dinner at the 21 Club or just going to see a musical on Broadway. And all of that came true. It was from daydreaming about Africa that took me to Kenya, where I met Nahid's father, Mohammed. He works with us at the studio film today. And he took Carol Joyce and I and 8 other people on a flying safari around Kenya and Tanzania. So when Carol and I were ballooning on the Great Serengeti, I had this strange feeling of deja vu. I knew I had done this before, but my rational mind said, no, this is your first time in Africa. How could that be? And then I remembered it was me daydreaming of flying over the Great Serengeti. I did this while sitting in the English class. Daydreaming is a wonderful way to create the future you want. So I recommend you give yourself daily daydreaming time. Pretend you're in Cannes watching your film and receiving a standing ovation. Pretend you're signing an incredible contract with Netflix for the sale of your film and a deposit on the next one. Pretending is manifesting. And once you're in the energy of the quantum field, you are creating your future.
Please see if you can make this a little bit more simple for us.
Okay, well, let's talk about the quantum process of creation. Because to bring something from the quantum field into your life, you must do 3 things. 1, hold a clear mental image. The field responds to clarity. You have to see it to believe it. 2, charge that vision with elevated emotion. Emotion in energy is the key. When you feel gratitude, love, and joy for something before it arrives, you collapse the wave of potential into form. And now you're in the fast lane. And then you take inspired action. You act as if it's already real. You make space for it in your life. You move into that vibration. And since you are all so creative, you just use your incredible imagination and feel it, see it, and use lots of emotions to heighten their experience of the life you want. It's all about vibrational alignment. The clearer and the more consistent your frequency, the faster the field delivers. Wallace Wallace said, act as if it was already real. In The Science for Getting Rich, he writes, by thought, the thing you want is brought to you. By action, you receive it. And he emphasized, act now as if you were already in possession of this thing. So when you live as if it's already yours, you become the vision of you who has it. And the field matches that vision, not the one who's waiting, wishing, or doubting. It's the one who really believes it and is living it. I had a friend once who always said, I'll do that when my ship comes in. Needless to say, the ship never arrived because that's putting things into an unknown future. You want to bring it into your life now.
In your upcoming book, You Are the Magic, do you have a practice you can share?
Yes, let's practice living the dream. Try this simple, powerful method and pull your dream from the field into form. You choose a clear vision. You pick one goal or desire, like an award-winning film. You are an award-winning filmmaker, or you have chosen an incredible director of photography, or you have a new home. You need to see the goal. You want to see the joy and achievement and hear the applause, and you want to see smiles on the people you love. Everybody is so happy that you have what you want. All right. You've got to see the final result that you want to achieve. And you have to feel as if it's already real. Close your eyes, breathe into your heart, imagine living that life right now. Pretend you're living with your desire. See your surroundings, feel gratitude, feel love and happiness. Feel into your new life. You must be in that vibration to attract it. And smile. Feel contentment and success. Your emotion is the signal to the quantum field that this is the vibration you live in. And take a step. Ask, if this is already real, what would I do next? And just do that thing, call that person, grab that camera, start that project, move in faith, not fear. The field does not respond to begging, it responds to being. It's all about your ability to imagine. When you match the frequency of the life you want, the field organizes around you. It moves people, events, and ideas into your path. Remember, Joseph Campbell told us doors will open where there were no doors before. And this is what happens when you start vibrating at the frequency of the desired life. This is not fantasy, it's physics, and it's your birthright. You were born to create. You came into this life with all of your incredible talents. Directors, writers, producers, editors. Do you really think the universe would give you all of that and then not support you? No, that would not happen. You were born to imagine and to believe and become. And the quantum field, the stuff, the ethers, the infinite intelligence is waiting for your next signal. And I say, daydream your life into being.
I want to thank you, listeners, so much for joining us today for this very special conversation. I hope you feel inspired, expanded, and more connected to the creative intelligence that is always available to you. Remember, your film is not just a project, it's a frequency. And when you align with the energy of success, the right people and resources are drawn to you like a magnet. The quantum field is always listening to your thoughts, your emotions, your intentions. Now, your thoughts are shaping reality every day. If this episode sparked something inside you, or if you had your own experience of visualizing and manifesting through meditation, visualization, we'd love to hear from you. Your feedback can help others. It can also help us bring more stories to life. Please email us at info@fromtheheartproductions.com or message us on social media. If you'd like to be part of this journey, we'll be sharing your chapters, meditations, and tools in further episodes and emails. Stay tuned and keep creating your future with love, alignment, and joy. Thank you, Claire Papan, for hosting the Art of Film Funding.
Oh, it's a great pleasure, as always. Thank you.
Thank you, listeners, again for joining us today for this very special conversation. I hope you feel inspired and more connected to the creative intelligence that's always available to you. Remember, you are the magic.
Now, in its second edition, Carol Dean's popular book, The Art of Film Funding, has 12 new chapters to cover all areas of film financing and how to avoid expensive pitfalls. Learn how to start with an idea and end with a trailer, how to make an ask for money, create your story structure and your trailer, legal advice, fair use, successful crowdfunding, how to ask for music rights, and what insurance you can't shoot without. Available on Amazon under Carol Dean and at FromTheHeartProductions.com. I want to remind our listeners that David Raiklin is a brilliant and talented award-winning musician who scores films and can compose music for a trio or for a full orchestra. David is a very good friend to the independent filmmaker and comes highly recommended by From the Heart Productions. If you need music to help tell your story, please contact him at davidraiklin.com. That's David, RAIKLEN.com. And Carol and I want to thank you for tuning in to the Art of Film Funding. Please visit our website at FromTheHeartProductions.com. You can also find us on Facebook and Twitter. Good luck with your films, everyone.